Welcome to Catholic News World.
Welcome to Catholic News World. Please subscribe to our channel. My name is Steph. Here are this week's breaking news headlines.
The United States Conference of Catholic Bishops held their November plenary assembly and made some key decisions that will affect the Catholic Church in the U.S. They met in Baltimore, Maryland from November 11th to the 13th. Throughout the meeting, the bishops spent time in prayer, at liturgy, and fraternal dialogue together. As the public session of the plenary began, the bishops sent a message to the Holy Father, Pope Leo XIV. Archbishop Timothy Broglio of the Archdiocese for the Military Services USA and President of the USCCB delivered his final address to the bishops as its president. He was followed by Cardinal Christophe Pierre, the papal nuncio, who offered remarks. The bishops elected new leadership to guide the conference for the next 3 years. The new president-elect is Archbishop Paul Coakley of Oklahoma City. The vice president-elect is Bishop Daniel Flores of Brownsville, Texas. The new conference secretary will be Bishop Kevin Rhodes of Fort Wayne South Bend, Indiana. In addition, the bishops also elected 6 new chairmen for the conference's standing committees. They are, for the Committee on Canonical Affairs and Church Governance, Archbishop Jeffrey Grobe of Milwaukee; for the Committee on Ecumenical and Interreligious Affairs, Auxiliary Bishop Peter Smith of Portland, Oregon; for the Committee on Evangelization and Catechesis, Bishop William Wack of Pensacola, Tallahassee; for the Committee on International Justice and Peace, Archbishop Boris Gutsiak of the Ukrainian Catholic Archieparchy of Philadelphia; for the Committee on Protection of Children and Young People, Bishop Mark O'Connell, soon to be installed Bishop of Albany, New York; and for the Committee on Religious Liberty, Archbishop Alexander Sample of Portland, Oregon. In a rare move not seen in years, the body of bishops issued a special message to address the nation's immigration situation. The message was approved by an overwhelming majority vote. Key points from the message include a clear statement of opposition to indiscriminate mass deportation, a call for an end to dehumanizing rhetoric and violence directed at either immigrants or law enforcement, an assertion that human dignity and national security are not in conflict, and an advocacy for meaningful immigration reform. They made specific revisions to Catholic healthcare directives. The bishops voted decisively to approve revisions to the Ethical and Religious Directives, or ERDs, for Catholic healthcare services. These updates incorporate a 2023 doctrinal note from the USCCB's Committee on Doctrine. The revised directives specifically prohibit Catholic healthcare institutions from performing surgical or chemical interventions that aim to change a person's gender characteristics. Another key vote was the approval of a 2029 Summer National Eucharistic Congress. The bishops affirmed the advancement of the cause for beatification and canonization of Jesuit Father Richard Thomas, who helped the poor along the border to Mexico. They voted in favor of consecrating the United States of America to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. The historic consecration will take place in 2026 to mark the 250th anniversary of the nation's founding. Bishop Stephen Lopes, the chairman of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops' Committee on Divine Worship, announced that the New Catholic American Bible, approved in 2024, will replace the New American Bible, Revised Edition. From 2011, after 20 years of consultation and revision of the original, Bishop Lopes also explained that a new edition of the Liturgy of the Hours will be ready by Easter 2027. These new texts will be incorporated into all liturgies at Catholic churches in the USA.
Please subscribe to our channel.
In China, Bishop Julius Jia, the Catholic bishop of the Diocese of Zhengding, whose position was not officially recognized by the Chinese authorities, died on October 29th at the age of 90. "My life," he said in an interview published by the religious Italian daily newspaper La Stampa, "consists of speaking about Jesus. I have nothing else to say or do. My whole life, every single day, is dedicated to telling others about Jesus. Everyone. There is much to be done. China is a vast field where we must sow the gospel of Jesus," said Julius Jia in February 2016, when he was already 81 years old. He confessed his faith even to state officials who, from time to time, would arrest him to take him to indoctrination sessions or periods of house arrest. He spent the last decades near what he called his cathedral, in the village of Wukyu, his birthplace, now in the county city of Jinzhou, in Hebei province. He was buried there in the family crypt on October 31st. For Jia Zhiguo, the difficulties began when he was a seminarian. From 1963 to 1978, he endured imprisonment and periods of re-education through labor in remote, cold, and inhospitable locations. After the end of the difficult times of the Cultural Revolution, he was finally ordained a priest on June 7, 1980, by Joseph Fan Shuiyan, the Bishop of Baoding, who also consecrated him a bishop a few months later. After receiving episcopal ordination, Julius also went to the Office of Religious Affairs to inform the officials of his appointment as bishop. They didn't take him seriously because they repeatedly told him that in China, no one could hold the office of bishop without government recognition. Jia Zhiguo was taken away countless times and placed under house arrest. Even under these circumstances, he prayed, read, celebrated Mass, and spoke with his hosts. On the Chinese reconciliation in communion with the Vatican, the bishop said, "We trust the Pope. He is the successor of Peter and, in communion with the whole Church, preserves the faith of the apostles with the help of the Holy Spirit. It is not a question of human abilities. We trust the Pope because we have faith in the Lord, who sustains and guides his Church, and we trust in him." Living with orphans. In the last decades of his life, the bishop lived in a house where about 70 orphans, including children with disabilities, were cared for by nuns. A beautiful and good work, which was also supported by donations from Buddhist donors. For me, the bishop explained, this work is the most important thing, the thing closest to my heart. It is the reality we cannot do without. Through it, everyone sees Jesus' unconditional love for each of us. Bishop Julius Jia Zhiguo's body has been granted permission to be buried in his home village. May he rest in peace.
Please subscribe to our channel.
Across the USA, Catholics joined the One Church, One Family Catholic Public Witness for Immigrants, inspired by Mother Cabrini. On October 22nd and November 13th, with the next date on December 12th, Catholics across the United States joined the One Church, One Family Catholic Public Witness for Immigrants. Several dioceses took part in the initiative. They also took the Mother Cabrini Pledge that was issued by the U.S. Catholic Conference of Bishops and listened to the USCCB's latest pastoral letter on migrants. The initiative is being led by the Jesuits West Province, with sponsors including Jesuit Refugee Service USA, the Ignatian Solidarity Network, Marinol, the Catholic Social Justice Lobby Network, Pax Christi USA, the USCCB's Migration and Refugee Services, and several orders of women religious. These national days of public witness are for immigrant brothers and sisters. This effort builds on the binational Mass at the U.S.-Mexico border in San Luis on October 12th, in which bishops from both countries called attention to the urgent crisis facing migrants, and they celebrated the feast day of Saint Mother Cabrini, the patron saint of migrants, on November 13th. They invite dioceses, parishes, schools, religious communities, and other institutions and organizations to host public actions that lift up the dignity of migrants, especially in the places where that dignity is most often denied. This may be a vigil in front of a detention center, a prayer service at a place where migrants were publicly detained, or a rosary accompanying people who are going to immigration court hearings. They call on all Catholics to witness to the richness of our traditions and teachings on migration. The organization pledges, as Catholics and people of deep faith, we reject the culture of fear and silence that dehumanizes, and we choose instead to stand with migrants. Together, our voices will send a powerful message in defense of the dignity of our neighbors, family members, fellow parishioners, classmates, co-workers, and friends. We are one church, one family. The Marinol Office for Global Concerns and other Catholic groups are organizing prayer vigils on these two dates in local communities around the country. Find everything you need to organize a vigil in your community at https://onefamily. In Washington, D.C., this Catholic Public Witness for Immigrants occurred at ICE headquarters. In Philadelphia, Archbishop Nelson Perez announced the Eucharistic procession and prayer vigil at the ICE Philadelphia field office. Our prayers and our signs will say, "Welcome the stranger. We stand with immigrants and refugees. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here." We need legal pathways, not deportations. Build bridges, not walls. Keep families together. We will gather in solemn, prayerful, nonviolent witness to God's love for migrants as ICE employees enter their headquarters at the beginning of their workday. As Catholics and people of faith, they reject the culture of fear and silence that dehumanizes, and we choose instead to stand with migrants. Together, our voices will send a powerful message in defense of the dignity of our neighbors, family members, fellow parishioners, classmates, co-workers, and friends. We are one church, one family. Their next One Church, One Family prayer vigil will be Friday, December 12th.
Watch our program every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to Catholic News World's channel. God bless.